In this video, we're finally going to get our raised bed set up. We've been working this winter to get a new garden space set up. We had two primary objectives. One, we wanted something close to the house that made it easy to maintain. And two, we wanted something that we could fence in hopes to keep the deer out. The last couple of years we've attempted gardens and the deer have just overrun them and eaten everything. The space was completely wooded. We actually had our pigs in here about a year ago. And last fall we cleared all the trees and then we've been working to get it cleaned up and get this fence set up. It is on a slope. In the lower area over here, we're gonna get set up with some raised beds. That's what we're gonna focus on today. This first bed back here is gonna be this galvanized bed. We had these at a previous garden. We turned it into one 4-foot circular bed that we put over in that corner, and then one 12-foot bed. Kind of just gonna be chipping away at this a little bit at a time, an hour or so every evening this week. Hopefully I'll get these raised beds set. I was thinking this one was gonna be the worst in terms of getting it level. We ordered these for that previous garden, decided to try them. I don't know that I'd recommend them, they're pretty flimsy, but we've got it, we're gonna use it. It'll still work well. Go ahead and just kind of make a mounded bed against the fence and use that space as well. The rest of the beds in this section are going to be these wood beds. Built them pretty much exactly the same way as I saw on Jason from Sow the Land on his videos. And he's got some good step-by-step on how he builds these, so I'm not going to go through the details on that, but pretty much the only difference is his beds are 3 foot wide by 6 foot long. I just put two of them together, and I just have a 2x4 connecting the two to be a brace in the middle of them. So these are 12 feet long by 3 feet wide, just because 12 foot is what worked well for the layout that we've got going here. They're just cedar fence boards for the sides and 2x2s. The sides are a full fence board, 6 foot board, and the ends are a half a board. 3 boards high and then 2x2s hold them together. I burned them just like he does because he says it helps them last a lot longer by charring them. So we'll see, but I did burn the inside and the outside. We're putting 4 beds in this section, 12 feet long. I've got the back 2 in place already and filled up. We did that the last couple of days. Today, I'm gonna set this one in the very front. I'm skipping the second one there because I think within this location, I can still kind of squeeze in with the tractor and at least dump soil in the end here. This one we're definitely sloped pretty good. I'm gonna dig in this front side because it is sloping downhill pretty good and I don't want to build up the back anymore. So I'm gonna lower the front until it's level with the back side. I should have done this on the previous ones, but I put flags in my corners on this edge so that I can just kind of slide the bed a little bit to the side of where I need it to be. And now I can see where my flags are and I can just take this mattock and cut a line right where our edge needs to be. All right, let's see what that looks like now. We'll slide, kind of slide it up in there. Definitely gonna have to go deeper. I'm looking a lot closer to level here than I am that way. And we are going uphill that way, so that end is where I need to remove the most. We are still a little bit high on this corner. We're still a little bit high on this end. So this trench needs to go down very close. Let's see if I can do this in one more pass. So I'm gonna recheck this flag. I think I moved it. It's actually very close. Yeah, it's still spot on. We're 9 foot from this fence line. Really, these two flags are just telling me how far I am this way. And then I'm set in the front corner on the string line. Check this one. Yeah, that's still right on. Let's put this thing back into place. Let's see if that's where it's supposed to be. On this end, very, very close. I'll go ahead and take a squaring measurement now that we're close. Just measure across the corners. 151 1/4 inches that direction. 150 1/2. So we are a little bit out of square. We need to pull this end just a smidge. That's what we're looking for. Let's check this end. There we go. 151 in both directions. So now that I know we're square, to check level. On this side, we are doing pretty good. Yeah. This end, we are a little bit high yet on this corner. And sometimes it's just a matter of standing on it and getting it down in the groove that you cut. I got a stick just laying through here. Right. That out of the way. Just using some concentrated gravity. There we go. Now we're sitting where we need to be. Let's check the ends. Okay, that's looking good. We got it set in square and level on our string line. Even distance from the fence. Just the way the layout of this fence, it's not a perfect rectangle. So our walkway isn't perfectly straight. So we're lining up the corners of the beds to follow the edge of that string line there, which is the edge of that walkway. The downhill side of this is significantly lower and there's some big gaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill that in with some fill dirt first. So now we'll go ahead and put cardboard in the bottom. We line the bottom of the beds with cardboard. That helps prevent any weeds from growing up through. And then we fill with soil. I know some people will put sticks or some other material in the bottom to bulk it up so you don't use as much soil. Or just filling them all the way with soil. Got 3 of the 4 done. I've still got to build the 4th one. We originally had planned to do 4 3x6 raised beds. We ended up changing the design to do 12 foot long. So I took those 4 and turned them into 2. You can see it's starting to take shape now. We've got our row of beds here. This is kind of the low area. We'll have a walkway down next to them. And then we'll have in-ground, row crops planted up on the higher part. We're pretty much ready for planting and we've actually started planting just a little bit along this fence line. We've got some onion sets in there along that fence line. We've got our gates to get put in so that we can be 100% secure. Get our last bed in and then it'll be start prepping the row crop area and before long it'll get planted. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time. I'm told these up here are just going to be tomatoes, which are going in on April 15th, so I guess we'll be back here on April 14th.